In 2002, I married my best friend. And I thought that life would be perfect because I had him and it would be me and him fighting the world together. In 2014, my world that I had, my life that I had created, was shattered in an instant. I had found pornography on my husband's phone, and it wasn't the first time. And I remember thinking to myself, I just want him to be honest with me. And when I called him up, he was at work, and I had sent him an email. And in the email, I had said, I found pornography again, and we can get through anything, but I can't deal with the lies. He called me from work, and he said to me, do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to talk about this in person? And I said, I don't know, you tell me. And he said, I'm on my way home. When he walked upstairs in the bedroom, he admitted that he had not only been looking at pornography, but that he was addicted to it and had looked at it our entire marriage. But then he told me that he had cheated on me. And that hurt. But what hurt even more is he told me that he had cheated on me our entire marriage with multiple people. And I remember at the time listening and then saying, I need you to leave. And so I stood in my window and I watched his car drive away. And as soon as his car was out of sight, I went in my closet, and in a second, I shattered. I literally felt like someone took my insides and took a sledgehammer, and I shattered into a million pieces. My life, my hopes, my dreams, my self-esteem, my trust in him, my trust in everybody in the world. Everything instantly shattered. And I was taken to a place where I didn't know how to move forward. There was no hope. At this point, there's no hope for my marriage. There's no hope for this life that I had created. I ended up kicking my husband out. I was pregnant with my 5th baby, and I was due only a few weeks from the time everything came out. And I had the baby, and I went home alone to a house with me and my kids and my baby. And I thought, this can't be my life. How is this my life? And I realized for the first time that I could not do this alone. That day I could not stop crying. The entire day I could not get it together. And I realized I can't do this alone. I needed other people. And I didn't know who was safe. I didn't know who I could trust, because at this point I didn't trust anybody. But I found a meeting, and I went to my first meeting, and it was hard. It was so hard to go and admit that this is my life. And I had so much shame of, if people really knew that my husband had cheated on me, then they would know that I wasn't enough. And I didn't feel like I was enough, but that would be outing myself to the world and possibly outing him. But I needed the help. I learned very quickly that whether my marriage survived or not, and at this point I wasn't planning on it surviving, but whether my marriage survived or not, I had to get healing. So I started attending groups, and I didn't like it at first. It was hard. There was a lot of shame. But I found people who got it and understood. And for the first time, I started having hope. I started realizing that I was in the darkness, but there was light. And I looked desperately in the beginning for people who were further ahead in their journey. That's all I wanted to see, was that there were people who could actually survive this, and that marriages could survive this, and that people could be happy again. Because for months, I cried every day. And I wondered, could I ever actually be happy again? It took a long time of searching, but I found people who were further in the journey And not only were they surviving, because that's all I could do in the beginning was survive, they were thriving. And so I watched them and I learned from them, and it gave me hope that on those days that felt hopeless and those days that I didn't think I could do another day, that if I just kept moving forward, that I could be happy again. So the reason I'm here today, the reason that I'm still here as part of the recovery world, still giving back and helping, is because in the beginning, all I wanted was hope. And it was so hard to find others who could give me that hope. And so I'm here to share that there is hope. There is happiness ahead. Don't give up. Look for those who can guide you. There are tools available. There is hope. There is healing. You can do this.